So I live in the Middle East. I split my time between Saudi and the Emirates, and I wanted to share with y'all how women do things here because a lot of people have this misconception that women here are not free or they are oppressed, and there's a lot that we can learn from how the women do things here. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to share with y'all a few of my own experiences. This is from my experience in my life. I know that y'all love to come on here and argue in the comment section about how things are different or you've seen different. So this is my experience. It is a man's duty and responsibility to take care of the women in his family. It is a commandment from God that men are supposed to provide for and protect women here. And it's not seen as a codependency for a father, a brother, or a husband to provide for a woman. This falls on the father, the brother, or the husband, or all. I have seen situations where guy friends of mine have had sisters that have worked. I have a friend of mine whose sister works for the royal family, another sister who's a dentist. The other one decided working wasn't for her. And the brother, my friend, pays her a salary because the father has passed away. Now, another situation where the woman, the sister of a friend of mine, never worked. She got married, decided that she wanted a divorce. So all of the brothers and the father put money together and they pay her monthly. They pay her a salary. I have a friend of mine who works for Forbes and she likes to work, but her brothers pay her rent. And she said if she didn't want to work, she didn't have to because her family would take care of her. If she needed money, they would give her money. It was Eid this week, and the men in the families are supposed to give all of the women money. And my friends' brothers and cousins spent 10 hours yesterday going from city to city to drop off money for their cousins. Another friend who's a diplomat in Saudi, and his father was also a diplomat, and his father used to say, my daughter's going to grow up and marry a prince and have servants walk behind her. That's what his mother told me. And that's what happened. She grew up and married a prince. Unfortunately, they got divorced, so she moved back into her family's villa, and her father passed away a couple of years ago, and he put properties in her name because in Islam, it is a woman's right to inherit properties and money. And she doesn't work because she doesn't want to. And also my friend gives her money. So she's fully provided for by her family. She can work if she wants to. She doesn't have to, she kind of has her own free will, her freedom to do what she wants. Another interesting thing is I know a lot of people were saying, well, women in Saudi can't drive. And yeah, that was true. Now they can drive, but a lot of them don't want to. I know a lot of women that want their drivers. They grew up having drivers. They want to continue having drivers. They have live-in chefs. They have live-in maids. And the women, they can work if they want to. My friend's mom, she's in her 70s. She owned a school. She taught kids. She had a job. She did whatever she wanted to. She didn't have to cook. She didn't have to clean. She didn't have to drive. But let's get into how modern day dating is. Let's not talk about the past. So my friend's sister, who's single, he told me that she was interested in a guy, and this is what they do. The guy, and this is how they do it in Islam, the guy who's interested in you for marriage has to sit down with the father or the brother of the home. And they have to interview him, right? They have to ask him what family do you come from? What do you do for work? Show me your assets. Show me your education. Give me proof that you are a good man that can provide for my daughter or my sister. And this man knows that if he marries this girl, if he treats her bad, he's going to have to answer to that brother, to that father, to these men in the family, because that man knows that these men actually care about the women and they can't mess with her. Not only that, but the community will know, right? And it's a huge shame on men in this community, in this culture, to not provide for a woman. It's a huge shame on him and his reputation. So these men know they have to work. There's actually an Arabic saying that if a man doesn't work, he becomes tired. If a woman works too much, she becomes tired. So they don't even expect women to work. They know by nature they have to provide. And when they get married, they have to offer a woman a financial gift. They have to offer her a dowry. She can choose what that dowry is. And they have to provide for her. And if they don't, they have to then answer to the men in that family. So let's get into the way women dress. I had a lot of people in my comment section in my previous video saying, well, women should be allowed to wear a bikini on the street if she wants to. Women here don't want to. That's the difference. They actually like hiding themselves. All of the women I know who are niqabi women, which means they cover their face, they did that because they chose to. They wanted to. They actually find pride in this. Women find pride in wearing a hijab. They see it as their crown. They see their body as a sacred temple that they want to protect from men. They don't like exposing their bodies. They don't like it. They don't want to. I was at my at my educational center the other day where I study. And the woman who runs the Islamic center there, we had a guy that came in who was an electrician, and they all ran to get their, their hijabs on, their niqabs. Like, they don't want to be seen by men. This is the difference. They don't like it. They don't find joy in it. They don't find empowerment from it. The only person they want to see their body is their husbands. So it's not that they're like oppressed and they're, being told. Actually, I know a lot of guys here that hate the niqab. I'm sure there are situations where this is forced upon. I mean, even in Saudi, I have another friend who works in the ministry there, and it's not mandatory in Saudi anymore to even wear a abaya hijab. It's not mandatory. And all of the women in his family still wear it. And he's like, you don't have to wear that. But they're like, no, we want to. They want to dress like this. It's not that they're, and I'm sure some of them have been oppressed or like have been told they have to wear this. I'm not speaking for everybody, but this is my experience. They cover themselves because they don't believe that men should see their bodies because they don't have the right to. They don't do it for their husbands. They don't cover for their husbands. They do it for God. It has nothing to do with the men. Also, in Islam, it is a woman's right to be a scholar. Women in this region, I'm talking about this region, very well traveled. Their government pays for them to study abroad, to learn about different cultures, to bring back, different things to offer to the community. So they'll travel abroad, they'll study abroad, and they'll speak multiple languages, and they'll come back. And a lot of them I met over the summertime in Europe from Saudi were just traveling. They took time off work to travel because they wanted to, because they can live their life and enjoy it. Education here is so important, and it's really well respected for a woman to be educated. Another thing is, when women date here, they don't really date, but when they date or go out or they're getting to know someone, they have a supervisor who like sits in the restaurant with them for a woman's protection. I was told that women should not be in a room with a man alone, in an elevator with a man alone. You should not be with a man ever alone as a woman for your protection. Also, the men and women are kind of segregated. Like, they don't go to school together, they don't pray in the masjids together, and they really stay separated. So I had a guy friend tell me, like, Lexi, you have to stop being so friendly with people here, because in my culture in the South, we're really friendly with people. And I asked him why, and he was like, well, the men are going to think you like them because they don't have this kind of culture here. Men have really strong boundaries with women, especially if you're not their wife. Not just like friendly with women or chasing them down the street. Not going to be out like mingling with women. But when you're talking with men here, they're not like overly friendly. And they don't have friends that are women if they're married. So women here, they can work if they want to. They're protected by their men. They're protected by their communities. Their dads and their brothers vet the men that they marry. It is understood that a man takes care of a woman, that her money is her money, and it never goes to the man. It is forbidden in Islam for a woman to have to share her income. She can, but she doesn't have to. They have drivers, live-in chefs, and maids. They're all living a really happy life over here. A lot of the women here are living good. You don't see struggling single mothers here because their families have too much pride. They would never let a woman struggle as a single mother. And these are not weak, docile women. A lot of these women are very opinionated. They have strong characters and strong personalities. So it's not that they're like, they're these like meek women that men control. No. They don't have to slave away at a corporation to survive. They don't have to go 50-50 with a man. They don't have to worry about their survival all the time.